Well, welcome everybody. We have a very special week for you. One of our brain warriors, Kelly VlahakisHanks, who is the CEO of Earth Friendly Products. They bring you the Ecos brand in your store. She and I have been friends for many years. We created a brain healthy, earth friendly products. And I wanted to have her on the Brain Warriors Way podcast because this is a time you need healthy cleaning products more than ever before in your life. And so Kelly's the president and CEO of Earth Friendly Products. They're the makers of Ecos laundry detergent and over 200 environmentally friendly products that are safer for people, pets, and the planet. Made with plant-powered ingredients, Ecos cleaners are thoughtfully sourced, pH balanced, readily biodegradable, easily recyclable, and never tested on animals. Kelly's a graduate of UCLA. She's the daughter of the founder of Earth Friendly Products. And Kelly, it is just such a joy to introduce you to our audience.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you.
It's so wonderful to be here with you, Dr. Amen and Tana. I mean, our longstanding friendship has been such a valuable part of my life, and really sharing the mission of creating healthier people and a healthier planet is something that I'm really proud that we both participate in. So thank you for having me on the Brain Warriors Way today.
Well, it's just such a critical time right now.
Well, and we talk about toxins, right? So Brain Warriors know about bright minds. You want to keep your brain healthy or rescue it if it's headed to the dark place. You have to prevent or treat these 11 major risk factors. And the T in bright minds is toxins. And we are assaulted with toxic products. And, you know, I actually never thought, Tana and I have been telling people to read food labels forever. And then when I wrote my book, Memory Rescue, and I was working on toxins, I'm like, you never read product labels. You should be reading product labels. We basically threw out half of our bathroom.
Oh no! I looked at him and I'm like, this is going to cost you. Toxic all my products were. It was terrible.
You know, it's really something because I think for consumers, they first thought about food, what they put in them. Then they started thinking about personal care products, what they put on them. Yeah. And it's just recently that consumers have been really aware of what's around them.
Right.
And that's kind of been their journey. And so now that they're finally aware of what's around them and they have more access to information than ever before, they've got their cell phones, they're Googling it, they're looking on Amazon, and they're really hungry for information. And so I can tell you that what we've tried to do is really fight to have transparency in cleaning products. So it's really something that as of today, there is no federal requirement for the disclosure of ingredients in cleaning products.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's unbelievable. I mean, Europe, Asia, so many other countries have requirements, and we don't have that here in the U.S. Now, the thing I'm proud about is that here in California, back in October of 2017, then Governor Brown signed into law the Cleaning Product Right to Know Act, which went into effect on January 1st of this year. So for the first time, we have a state in our nation that does require the disclosure of ingredients in cleaning products. As of January 1st, 2020, you can go online to find the ingredients, and then on 2021, it'll be on pack. And our great hope is that if companies make products for the 40 million citizens here in California, they'll change the way they make their labels all across the country because consumers have a right to know. And when you see a lot of these companies fighting and saying, oh, it's a proprietary secret, we can't release the ingredients, the real truth is all of us know in the cleaning product industry, what's in one another's products, we can reverse engineer everything. But it's the consumer in the store buying the product that doesn't have the information, and they need the information because there's no FDA or anybody policing what goes into cleaning products. So you can put anything you want in them. And if the company, it's so wrong.
And whatever goes on your body goes in your body. And during the pandemic, I've been doing the dishes. And so I use your dish soap But when people are breathing them in or they're on your clothes, it's going in your body and affecting your body.
But you bring up a really good point, because we're all really scared right now about killing this virus, right, in our homes. I mean, I'm an ICU nurse. And I've been like, no, I'm a little annoying. I need a little grace from my family, because I went into full blown war mode. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm a warrior, right? But I'm like, I'm in that ICU mode, and I'm like, I'm really into this whole non-toxic thing, but I got freaked out and I stripped the shine off of my marble, bleached everything, because I'm like, I have no idea if natural products are going to do the same thing or not. And I want you to talk about that. I just flipped out.
Thank you, Kim. No, I'm so glad you bring that up, because this is really an important point. So I would really encourage everyone, go to the CDC's website. And the CDC clearly says step 1 is to clean and step 2 is to disinfect. So I want to talk about step 1, because step 1 is what we should be doing regularly all day long, and that's cleaning. And the cleaning portion, you want to be using products that are safer for you and your family, because there's so many toxic ingredients in those disinfectants and other products.
Right.
They're actually very dangerous for your immune system. Right. They're dangerous for your lungs. And we know that COVID is something that attacks the lungs. And so we really want to do everything we can to responsibly use those disinfectants with proper ventilation, face masks, and follow the instructions. But step 1 is cleaning. So when we're cleaning, the CDC defines cleaning as the removal of pathogens. And pathogens would be bacteria and viruses and germs and parasites and other things. So we first want to remove all of those things, because when we remove that, you actually reduce the viral load so that a disinfectant could even do its job. Right. So as we're really removing and washing away things, we should be using safer products that don't have hormone disruptors and carcinogenic substances, because we now know there's so many ingredients like formaldehyde. That's a common preservative in cleaning products that we know is linked to cancer. We really want, I say all the time to people that cleaning should not mean spreading toxins. Cleaning should not mean.
I love that.
Now, before we talk, because we're going to talk about a stepwise process to cleaning and disinfecting, give us a little bit of the history, maybe in about 2 minutes, the history of earth-friendly products.
Absolutely. Well, my father started our company in 1967. He was such a passionate, visionary man, so far ahead of his time. Yeah. Way ahead. I mean, before people were talking about organic food, he was talking about the importance of greening your cleaning. And so he was originally from the island of Crete in Greece, and he grew up there. And he was born in 1935, so he grew up during Nazi-occupied Greece during World War II. And he saw a lot of atrocities, lost his father in the concentration camps. And so when he was 18 years old, he hid on a ship and he came to the United States with $20 in his pocket. He didn't speak the English language. He lived in homeless shelters. Unbelievable story. There's actually a Hollywood film they made about him called The Green Story. But he starts the company after going to Roosevelt University in Chicago. And he went to Roosevelt and studied chemistry because of all the Greek root words. So he was really attracted to that. And then worked for 9 years for other people. During that time, he was inspired by a lot of works. Rachel Carson had just written in the early 60s, Silent Spring, about DDT and the dangers of pesticides. And he was looking around him in the cleaning products industry, and he was wondering, why in the world are we using so many toxic ingredients? He saw, colleagues of his getting burned, having injuries, and all of these things in an effort to clean. And he really thought back to his childhood in Greece, and he thought about how his mother utilized vinegar and lemon and all these natural ingredients. And so in 1967, he started our company in his garage with a mission to create products that are safer for people, pets, and the planet. And I joined him full-time 2003, so 17 years ago. And it's just amazing, the growth even in the last 15 years, because the first 30 or 40 years, he was constantly championing change and letting people know about these dangers, but the consumers hadn't really fully understood it yet. And so now it's really an important time when people finally have access to the information to really elevate that message. Because, the residue on your plates and glasses, you put your water in your glass, you put your food on your plate. So you're consuming these things that have skulls and crossbones on back labels. I unfortunately lost my father in 2014, but certainly his mission and vision has gone on. In the last 6 years, we not only make the greenest products in the marketplace, we also make them in the most sustainable fashion possible. So we have 4 geographically diverse manufacturing facilities here in the United States. All of our facilities are carbon neutral, they're water neutral, and they're platinum zero waste. So we divert more than 90%.
Rachel, you were so impressed. I would love to see it.
Oh, it's incredible. So when we come back, I mean, it's just such a great story. I want you to tell people where they can find your products, because this is hard, but this is it's a hard time.
Right.
And then let's talk about how to properly clean. We're here with Kelly VlahakisHanks, the president and CEO of Earth Friendly Products. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We are still with our friend Kelly VlahakisHanks, and we're talking about her product, Earth Friendly Products, which I love. I use them in our home, and we are
her company.
Her company, yes. And I use them. I love your products, by the way, because we are all about non-toxic products in our house. But we touched on it a little bit in the last episode, Kelly, and I'd love to talk about it more. During this scare, I think a lot of people are sort of tossing that idea of non-toxic because they're afraid. They're afraid, okay, because of the virus. And so we're like, look, we want to be non-toxic as much as we can, but the ICU nurse in me is like, nope, this is war. I'm pulling out the big guns, right? I'm pulling out bleach and I'm pulling out whatever. I don't care about the toxicity in the moment as long as I can kill the virus. So talk to me about, do natural products work as well, or do we, as you touched on, decrease the viral load by cleaning first? Like, what's the best way to do this?
Absolutely. So going back to the CDC site, right? Step 1 is to clean and step 2 is to disinfect. And I just really want to encourage everybody to not skip step 1, which is the cleaning part. Because when you do the cleaning part, you reduce the viral load. There was actually a wonderful article on March 13th that came out in the New York Times that I just loved. And it was called Why Soap Works. And I think it's so important for people to understand, why does soap work? And so when I talk about our Ecos hand soap and I talk about, hey, everybody, wash your hands for 20 seconds, the CDC clearly says it's more important to wash your hands for 20 seconds than to use the hand sanitizer. Now let's talk about the reasons why. So when we think about cleaning, when you think of a soap molecule has 2 ends. One is hydrophilic and one is hydrophobic. Another great Greek word. Hydrophilic loves water. Hydrophobic doesn't like water. The hydrophobic end actually penetrates the envelope around the virus. So when you're looking at the coronavirus that we're talking about right now, COVID-19, it has a membrane around it. The hydrophilic part of the soap molecule penetrates that membrane. When it penetrates that membrane, it disrupts the virus and you wash the virus away. It's a great article to read and I think really helpful for people to get a visual. So when you're washing your hands for 20 seconds, right, the soap breaks the surface tension of the water and then it also breaks the virus or bacteria or germs and you wash it and you rinse it away. And that's the most important thing to do. When you think about using a hand sanitizer, you put that on your hand, right? And what its job is to kill any bacteria or viruses. But the reason the CDC recommends it second is because you should only do that if you don't have access to water and soap. Right. Because you put that all over your hands. What if it doesn't kill some of the virus or bacteria? You've now left all these kind of dead bugs on your hands, right? So it's the second choice and certainly important if you don't have access to soap and water, but you're doing that. And you're doing 2 things as well, right? You're also utilizing a lot of ingredients that long-term will be hard for your health. Same thing when you think about all-purpose cleaners. All-purpose cleaners, if you use, a natural all-purpose cleaner, you don't have all the dangerous volatile organic compounds and other things that are so harmful to our lungs and our immune systems. You clean everything, and cleaning is defined as removing dirt, germs, bacteria, viruses, and all of those different pathogens. When you remove them and you wash them away, that's the best thing. Second, you can use a disinfectant. And I think a lot of people don't realize if you actually read the label on a disinfectant, they have dwell times. So you spray a disinfectant and you leave it for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever the dwell time is, and then you wipe it away. I see a lot of people out there cleaning with disinfectants, and that doesn't work. If you're spraying a disinfectant and then wiping things down, you're not doing anything. You're actually doing more harm. Clean first with a healthy product, and then go to the frequently touched surfaces like doorknobs or light switches and other things. You can use your disinfectant, but read the label, use the dwell time, and make sure you're using gloves, face masks.
No, I haven't. I mean, you're speaking my language when you talk about soap and sanitizers, because I'm a nurse, right? So
yes,
I already knew that. You have to wash your hands, you have to scrub them for long periods of time. And, I mean, my hands were always cracked because we had to wash our hands so much.
And that's another, I'm so glad you brought that up. Your hands were cracked. So the other important thing about using, a product like our Ecos hand soap, they're pH neutral, they're hypoallergenic. And one of the things that we don't want is we have a natural barrier on our skin, and we want to keep that intact. That natural barrier protects us from infection. Exactly. And if we're using hand soaps that are really caustic and breaking that natural barrier and creating, new entrants for all sorts of bacteria and other infections. So if you use a natural hand soap that's hyperallergenic and pH like our Ecos products, you're also protecting your skin.
I totally agree. But when I started to I was telling my family and the kids, it's like they have this idea that they can just use the sanitizers. I'm like, you cannot do that. You need to, it's like, oh, I sanitize my hands. I'm like, when you walk in this house, you wash your hands first. You have to wash your hands. So, I know that's an actual, I'm really glad you brought that up. So the sanitizers do not take the place of soap.
Well, and one of the things nobody talks about with all of the antimicrobials is, and we've talked about it a lot on the Brain Warriors Way podcast, which is you have 100 trillion bugs in your gut, and they serve you, they help you. And now people are taking antibiotics that they don't need, damaging the gut bugs, and they're getting these products, and they may be inhaling them or somehow consuming them, which then will damage them.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that's so important to talk about, antibiotics. When we think of disinfectants, it's basically the same thing. It's killing all the good bugs alongside of the bad bugs. And so we really want to just make sure that we're thoughtful when we're using it and not continuously exposing ourselves to it, because we do want to make sure that we do keep good bugs in our lives.
Yeah, it's been an interesting time. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. And just that people should know that, the skin is the largest organ in our body, right? So whatever we put on our skin is absorbed oftentimes quicker than what we put into our mouth. So it's so important. I mean, that's why I talk to people about laundry detergent, like bleach. I understand in a hospital setting, you have a blood spill. That's one thing. When I hear people talk about whitening their whites using bleach because their kid played soccer, it's just not necessary. You could use a non-chlorine bleach. You could use something, much safer to accomplish the same task without the detrimental effects to human health. When you think of bleach, it was utilized for chemical warfare during World War II. I mean, that's the purpose. And then after the war, they're like, what should we do with this? Oh, dump it in the consumer market. They'll love it.
Stupid, right?
it certainly has its place and space in a hospital setting, blood spills, other things. But in an everyday, environment at home, we want to just be careful about using it.
But you brought up a good point, because it feels like chemical warfare right now. And so we want people to understand, because normally I'm one of those people who doesn't like hand sanitizers. Don't want them in my house. I always tell people, stop being a germaphobe, right? It's like, it's not good for us. It's not good for your gut to do that. But right now, all of a sudden, it's like, wait, that's true in normal times. That's not true during war, right? Yes. So there's a difference, and so right now it feels like chemical warfare. And so we feel like we are in a war.
And even when we're talking about sanitizers or disinfectants, there's still better choices, I believe, to select from, right?
Tell us about
so
that.
There are organic hand sanitizers on the market, right? You can get a sanitizer that's using ethanol that comes from plant-derived ingredients versus utilizing IPA or utilizing quats and other dangerous things.
Do you make one?
So that's such a good question. So we introduced actually in October at the International Sanitary Supply Show in Vegas, our multi-purpose disinfectant and sanitizer. We've already got all the approvals from the federal EPA, and we're just right now waiting for the state by state. So I'll show you, Tana. It looks like this, if you see it. So
I'm
it is
so interested. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. And so that's our multi-purpose and disinfectant sanitizer. So I'm hopeful that we'll have it in the marketplace in the coming weeks, because we certainly want to offer a greener version. The beauty of
will you have a hand sanitizer?
We will have that as well. So the FDA just allowed companies like ours that have the ability to make hand sanitizers to start producing immediately. So we'll actually start running hand sanitizers on our production lines later this week.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
Next week we'll have hand sanitizers, and I'm hopeful we'll have the disinfectant and sanitizer and the spray as well as the wipes in the coming weeks.
And how hard is it going to be for people to, I'm sorry, but I'm jumping ahead here because this is the practical stuff people want to hear, because I know I want to hear it. How hard is it going to be for people to find it right now? I'm getting garbage sanitizers because I can't find any of the good stuff. I can't find what I need to find.
Right. Absolutely. So as soon as we start production, we have a lot of wonderful retail partners we're working with. And like you mentioned, Tana, there's been an unbelievable demand for cleaning products right now. I mean, we're producing 4 or 5 times the amount that we typically would. We're running 24/7 around the clock. I mean, huge shout out to my team here at Ecos for really, I talked to them about, what patriotism is. And, one of the front lines is creating cleaning products so that we can keep our healthcare providers and other people safe during this time of war, as you said. So our products are available at all of the retailers. In terms of the sanitizers and the hand sanitizers, certainly it'll be available on Amazon, which is one of our great online partners. You can find our entire Ecos portfolio online. And then we'll partner with our other brick and mortar retailers to get it on shelf. Right now, in terms of finding our Ecos portfolio for all of your cleaning, stores like Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Mother's Market, Gelson's, Bristol Farms. I mean, there's so many, Ralph's, that are here in the area
so they have to be diligent and watchful. When we come back, we're going to talk about whether or not you should be washing your food. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are here with our friend Kelly VlahakisHanks, the president and CEO of Earth Friendly Products. They make the Ecos brand that you can find at Costco and Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, many places. And we are just so grateful for you because, if you think of a war, what you're making is the ammunition to be able to win this war against COVID-19. But, COVID-19, there are going to be other pandemics. You need to develop a way to start really thinking about using non-toxic products that work. And I know this is an anxious time, but whatever goes on your body goes in your body and affects your body and your brain. So protecting yourself is just absolutely essential. And Kelly, we're just so grateful for who you are and what you do. And the question often comes up, well, what about food? Mm-hmm. And should you be washing your food?
I actually read something that older people are not supposed to be eating raw celery. Any raw veggies?
Why did you look at me when you said
no? Because it freaks me out. I called my mom and said, don't eat raw veggies because we don't have an effective, I can't buy vegetable wash for her right now. And it's like she shouldn't be eating raw veggies right now because people have been touching and sneezing and, so talk to us. This is really important.
Absolutely. It's super important. There was also a great article on the 10th of March in the LA Times talking about how safe are fruits and vegetables in the supermarkets. And it was a great article, and the director of food policy and law at UCLA was telling everybody, make sure to wash your fruits and vegetables, right? And so once again, we make an organic fruit and veggie wash, and it's got three ingredients in it. It's got organic white vinegar, it's got organic glycerin, and then it's got an organic soap nut in it. And a soap nut, I know, can be misleading because of its name, a nut, but it's actually a berry. And it's this amazing berry that's found in nature. It's grown in tropical environments. So they're produced in Florida, they're produced in Brazil. But these berries actually have natural surfactant abilities.
Wow.
And so you combine the three, and when you put it in, I'll just show you, you can see what the product looks like, right? So this is our organic fruit and veggie wash. You see the USDA organic certification on it. So what a fruit and veggie wash does is it does a better job than simply water of lifting the dirt and the impurities. So the solvent in the product would be the organic vinegar and would be the organic glycerin. And then the surfactant would be the soap nut berry. And so you have those three, and we have all sorts of third-party testing that shows that it removes all sorts of bacteria and viruses from fruits and vegetables. And this is really important for fruits and vegetables, especially that you're eating the outer peel of. It also removes wax and things like apples. And another thing is during this crisis, a lot of people are going to have a hard time finding organic fruits and vegetables. Those of us that are typically devoted to only organic might have to buy non-organic. So it's also really important to have a fruit and vegetable wash to remove any of the toxic residues from pesticides that are on fruits and vegetables. And, we saw an increase in people purchasing fruit and vegetable wash maybe 15 years ago when they had all sorts of issues with salmonella and listeria and other things. About 3,000 people die annually from all sorts of bacteria and things that can be found on fruits and vegetables. So it is really important, and it's simple. So what you would want to do, if you have a fruit that's like an apple or something like that, you just spray it on and you rinse it off. If you have a fruit that's got a lot more surfaces, something like cauliflower or broccoli, in that case, you would soap it. You would put it in our soaking solution, And I think, Dr. Amen has been here and had our food that's prepared by our wonderful kind of plant-forward chef, Brandon Hall. And so if you go downstairs into our corporate kitchens, you'll see him all day long. We grow a lot of the vegetables in our vertical gardens here for all of our team members. He'll harvest the vegetables from our vertical gardens, and then he'll soak them. And it's super easy. You just put 1 tablespoon into 8 cups. So 1 tablespoon of the fruit and veggie wash into 8 cups of water. You can use cold water, which is what we do here, and then you'd soak it for about 10 minutes. If you use warm water, you only need to soak it for about 5 minutes because the warmth activates it. And then you take it out and you just kind of pat it dry, either with a kitchen towel or hopefully a tree-free paper product.
So you don't need to rinse it you don't need to rinse it after that. And is it the same?
And then you take it out. I'm sorry. You take it. I usually will put it in like in a colander or something, rinse it and pat it dry.
And do you need to, is it the same product?
Yes. So it's the same product, both the soak solution and the spray solution. One you just pour with a cap on it, and then the other has the trigger sprayer. Same product, same ingredient.
Can't find it because it can be hard to find.
Right now it's
yes. I have a note for those who want something stronger than plain water. Mix in lemon or distilled white vinegar or hydrogen peroxide. Lemon should be used on berries, but not the vinegar or hydrogen peroxide. The porous skin of berries can too easily absorb the vinegar or hydrogen peroxide. Salt can also be added to a white vinegar mix. So, Kelly, because at this time it may be hard for people to find it.
Absolutely.
What can people do? So, washing it with soap. So, a healthy soap.
Non-toxic soap.
A non-toxic soap. But
absolutely. And what you're saying that, the at home, right? Vinegar. I mean, we're using organic white vinegar as the main solvent in our product too. So that organic white vinegar is extremely effective as well in making sure to lift up all these impurities. And just going back to the same thing like with hand washing, you want something that extracts the dirt, the impurities, and then you want something to rinse it off, which is why that rinse phase is an important one, because you're just washing it away.
Mm.
And now, I know a lot of people are worried about Amazon and the boxes. So Amazon workers, some of them have COVID-19. They deliver boxes, and I hadn't really even thought about it. I'm opening up all these boxes.
He can't hear me. I told him not to open them right away. He can't hear me, and I'm like, you can't bring them in the house anymore.
Right.
No, we actually have
so he was opening
a quarantine place in the garage. Yeah. So we'll quarantine them for 24 hours. But what do people do? What do people do about?
I'm doing 72 as well.
Boxes, packages.
I wear gloves.
What advice would you give our brain warriors?
Absolutely. So I'm doing the same thing you are doing there. You guys are doing. The packages are coming in. We're unboxing things outside of our home. We're using gloves for the unboxing experience. So we open up our boxes. We leave the boxes outside by our recycling bin. And then we're bringing the contents into our home. But we're not just bringing the boxes directly in, simply because of the fact that people that are delivering it, it's being touched. There's many different touch points. And we're trying to as well be very cognizant of any incoming raw materials in our facilities or incoming boxes into our homes.
Right. So I'm keeping one dedicated opener outside with the boxes, have gloves out there, and I have sanitizer. So as soon as I take the gloves off, I sanitize my hands, bring in the products, wash my hands. It's a process, but it needs to happen.
It is a process because these are the small touch points people need to really be cognizant of.
As a psychiatrist, my OCD patients have just their anxiety is skyrocketing.
But they're all sitting there going, I told you so.
Sort of like you.
Sort of like me with my end of the world prepping.
My wife.
They're like,
I'm never going to lose an argument again.
No.
I'm never going to win an argument again.
And then the last kind of vegetable I just point out are mushrooms too, because I know a lot of people often ask me, how do you wash mushrooms? Because they're so porous and they absorb everything. So for mushrooms, that vegetable, I actually would utilize a cloth, like a kitchen cloth or utilizing our tree-free paper. And I would actually wet that in the same solution. And I would actually wipe that off. Because unfortunately with mushrooms, they'll absorb all the water and everything else. And it'll compromise, obviously, the taste of what you're consuming. So in that case, that's the one thing that I actually just wipe off.
Interesting.
That's great. When we come back, we're going to talk about how important are cleaning personal products and cleaning products. And we just want you to be a brain warrior, which means you're armed, you're prepared, you're aware to win the fight of your life. And now we're in the middle of a war, like a real war with this pandemic. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We are still with Kelly VlahakisHanks. And Kelly, I just have to tell you how important this discussion has been. Her company, Ecos, Earth Friendly Products, I'm just so happy that we have you on, because this has just been such a stressful time for all of us, me included. And these times bring out different parts of our personalities. I mean, I've seen some people curl up and just get really scared. And I've seen even my kids, the kids in our house are just all behaving differently than they normally would. And because different parts of our personalities emerge. For me, I become like this insane cop, right? I'm super intense. I'm like, here's the orders, here's the rules, this is what you're doing. And, it's not making people very happy around me, but it's how I keep my family safe. And this is part of why this discussion we're having, right? Is because I don't really know. I can't get the products I need. I'm a little out of my depth. I know about soap. I know about sanitizers, but they're toxic. And this is all on my mind. I mean, I'm bleaching the heck out of everything. I don't feel well later. And these conversations are so important.
They sure are. You know, one of the things that we've tried to really do as a company is really empower people. We want to give them the knowledge. We want to give them the tools. While everybody is home right now, we want to give them the tools for the fight and the safer ones for that fight. We actually launched a series on our sites called Clean with Ecos and Healthy Homebody, because we want to encourage people to be healthy homebodies and to really spend their time utilizing clean products.
I want to say that again. Healthy Homebody. It's a website. I want to make sure
it's actually on our Ecos Cleans platform. So if you went to our Ecos Cleans Instagram or you went to our Ecos Cleans Facebook page, you'll see we have a Clean with Ecos Healthy Homebody series. And every day we're trying to post different tips so that we can really empower people with, hey, listen, there is something you can do to protect the health of your family. I mean, our mission for 53 years has always been about protecting the health of your family. And I think that it's more important now than ever, but it's always been what we've done. And so, you know, our first post was about hand soap. The second one was about all-purpose cleaners. And we're just moving through. The one that's coming out today is actually about fruit and veggie wash that you and I just spoke about. So every single day, we want to give consumers something they can be doing in their homes to protect their health and to be cleaning. You know, for us, we use Safer Choice certified products. So if you look at the front of pack, I also want to give consumers, how do I know if a product is green? There's so much greenwashing going on. How do I know if they're using green ingredients? We use a third party that audits all of our products and looks at all of our ingredients. The US EPA Safer Choice program looks at, number one, do you have the greenest ingredients? Number two, is it efficacious? Does it work? Because if a cleaning product doesn't work, it's truly not a sustainable, good product. So they certify that it works. And number three, they look at companies that are really innovating in terms of green science. And then on the fruit and veggie wash we discussed, we have the USDA organic certification, and Quality Assurance International comes in and audits all of our facilities and makes sure that we're utilizing only organic ingredients in the production of the fruit and veggie wash, that organic ingredients are never compromised by being mixed with anything that's not organic. So there's a lot of things that consumers should be looking for on front of pack to make sure that they're buying the products they want to bring in their homes. And then really just focus on that cleaning component. If you're cleaning on a regular basis and cleaning, do your laundry more frequently. When you think of doing laundry, a lot of people just let it build up, right? And you have piles and piles of laundry. But if you're home right now, keep your laundry clean. Don't allow germs and bacteria and other things to really put up there. Wash your laundry frequently. After you finish washing it, don't let it just sit wet in the washing machine, because you can have mold and other products. Quickly put it into your dryer so that you dry your laundry and put it away. Make sure you're cleaning your surfaces frequently with a product that's Safer Choice certified. Make sure you're cleaning your fruits and vegetables with something that's organic or something that you make at home that's safe. You know, washing your hands, all of these things really are good for us if we utilize good ingredients in the things that we're using.
So interesting.
So the team put together some really great information. Conventional cleaning products emit fumes that are toxic to brain cells. And recently, scientists reported that exposures to high levels of fine particulate air pollution, the kind you might breathe if you live near a freeway, may contribute to accelerated brain aging and cognitive problems in older women, especially if they have the ApoE4 gene that increases the risk of Alzheimer's. These and other environmental toxins may be inadvertently consumed, inhaled, or absorbed through the skin. Widespread in our high-tech world, they include the chemical BPA in food and drink containers and on cash register receipts. I just go, you can keep it. Heavy metals like mercury in fish and pesticide residues in fruits and vegetables we just were talking about. There are lots of ways to address the toxins in your life, from eliminating them to helping your body's natural detoxification. And so limit exposure, which means buy organic, limit gasoline fumes or secondhand or even third-hand smoke, avoid handling cash register receipts. Don't eat or drink out of plastic containers. Use apps like Think Dirty to scan your personal products and eliminate many toxins. They're hormone disruptors like parabens, phthalates, lead, aluminum, and PEGs. support your 4 organs of detoxification, your liver. Although, Kelly, I have to tell you this, the alcohol companies are retooling their plants and they're creating hand sanitizers.
So
now, this is a good use of alcohol. Stop drinking it because it damages your microbiome, but maybe they'd be useful in hand sanitizers.
One thing that's so interesting.
Jim Beam, disinfectant, Seagram 7.
But this conversation is really important because every day you turn the news on or you look at your phone and they're like, oh, there's this new thing about it. People who have really strong immune systems, vitamin D, vitamin C. Every time I'm seeing, like, that may be the thing that's keeping people from getting sick. It's your immune system. Keep boosting your immune system. And they have all these things that they're using, right? Vitamin D, vitamin C, things we've known about, keeping your immune system strong. But what we haven't talked about is that when you use toxic products, it decreases your immunity. So
That's right.
This is
and so many.
It's an
important thing to do. Right.
Very important. I mean, so many of the ingredients that you just talked about, PEGs, phthalates, parabens, formaldehyde. I mean, so many of these things are in cleaning products, volatile organic compounds, VOCs. I think a lot of people are really aware, hey, when I buy a paint, I should really start thinking about paints with no VOCs or low VOCs. Yet they're bringing cleaning products into their home that are high in volatile organic compounds.
Right.
And they become volatile organic compounds because they're so small, right? Oftentimes in fragrances, that's a big carrier of a lot of the VOCs. And then you're inhaling these things and they're so detrimental to lung health and they leave you then more susceptible to all sorts of illnesses. And so really making sure that cleaning products that have no or low VOCs are also very important. Making sure that cleaning products aren't using things like formaldehyde as preservatives, don't have things that are caustic. I mean, things that when you think of cleaning products and you read, sometimes I see people say, oh, I want something that eats through the grease, that eats through the baked on things, that's really aggressive and really corrosive. Yet that residue's on your plate and you smell the lemon and you go, oh, it smells clean. And then you eat it. So it really is something when we talk about reducing our toxic load, that it's really a lot about our cleaning products. The EPA estimates that indoor air pollution can be 5 to 70 times higher than outdoor air pollution. Because of toxic cleaning products. And we're spending all day long inside our homes, inside of our workplaces. I went to this one presentation where they were saying that children, well, of course, this isn't true for right in this moment in history, but typically children are spending less time outside than prisoners are. They're not even getting their 1 hour outside a day. And so they're inside homes, schools, and workplaces, and they're breathing all day long these toxic fumes. We have to change that. It really is so detrimental to human health. And it's amazing in 2020, this is still the case. When the EPA was started in 1970, actually this year is the 50th anniversary of the EPA and of Earth Day. When it was created, they grandfathered in 83,000 chemicals that were never checked for human health and safety.
Isn't that insane?
And more than 40,000 of those are still in commerce today. And when we were fighting for the Toxic Substances Control Act back in 2016, they actually passed a law with TSCA that said every year the government will check 10 chemicals a year. 10 chemicals. I mean, what is 10? You have thousands, tens of thousands.
This is the evil ruler I talk about. It.
Unbelievable. And the list of the first 10 chemicals, number 1 was asbestos. Who needs to spend the year thinking about asbestos? We know how dangerous it is
right.
for human health, The second one on the list, though, is something I'd like to bring up, which is 1,4-dioxane. And 1,4-dioxane. So when they passed this law in 2016 and said, let's look at the top 10 chemicals, one of those top 10 was 1,4-dioxane. 1,4-dioxane is in almost all cleaning products. It's unbelievable because although 1,4-dioxane is not an ingredient, it's a byproduct of the manufacturing process when you have ethoxylated surfactants. So when they test cleaning products for 1,4-dioxane, the levels are super high and we know this is linked to cancer. So it's really important when you're getting a cleaning product to ensure that it's free of 1,4-dioxane.
Wow. Kelly, we're out of time, but how can people learn more about ecos and earth-friendly products and how they can keep themselves safe? where can they get more education that you guys are producing?
Thank you. Well, I would welcome everyone to really visit us on our website, which is ecos.com. That's ECOS.com. Ecos is the Greek word for home. And so that's our website. And they could certainly follow us on Instagram, on Facebook at Ecos Cleans for all of our healthy home tips for being a healthy homebody and cleaning with Ecos.
Great. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing our message. I appreciate it. And I must say, I loved implementing the Bright Minds program here at Earth Friendly Products. Our entire team benefited so much from it, and will continue to be brain warriors here every day.
And Kelly, please give a heartfelt thanks to your team for continuing to work at this time when it's so scary for people to be out. What they're doing is critical. I think of our first responders, our police officers, our firemen, nurses, physicians. What they're doing is critical, and they're putting their lives on the line every day. But we don't often think about the people who are getting these products out. We're just at home trying to order them, and we're mad because we can't order them. So thank you. Thank them for being there and doing this, as we're not really thinking about the people who are actually out there making them.
That means so much to me, Tana. Thank you for that. I will certainly relay the message to the entire team here at Ecos. We really want to do everything we can to support everyone during this critical time.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
If you're enjoying the Brain Warriors Way podcast, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always know when there's a new episode. And while you're at it, feel free to give us a review or 5-star rating, as that helps others find the podcast.
If you're considering coming to Amen Clinics or trying some of the brain healthy supplements from BrainMD, you can use the code podcast10 to get a 10% discount on a full evaluation at amenclinics.com, or a 10% discount on all supplements at brainmdhealth.com. For more information, give us a call at 855-978-1363.